Man, oh man, I realized I haven't covered the Siege update. Dwarf Fortress version 53.01. This is a huge update, and I just haven't talked about it yet. I don't even know how some of this stuff works. This has the potential to really change important things about how Dwarf Fortress has always worked. Number one, with a bullet, enemies can now, in sieges, certain enemies can now dig their own channels into your fortress. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, wow, that seems like it could be really dangerous for a fortress. It is. Not only that, the AI has been improved for siege units. So they will specifically map hotspots of where they're getting killed and start to avoid that, including digging around. So if you have a nice fortress with, say, like, you have one nice bottleneck, so many traps, sieges just like deal with themselves. Siegers are now going to lose a few guys in all that hard work you did, you know, the one impenetrable entrance. They're going to see all that hard work you did. They're going to lose a few guys to it, and then they're just going to dig around it. And I haven't really experienced this yet. I set up a new map. You'll see the footage here. Where I tried to turn enemies up to hard, and I specifically put the fortress, the Dwarf Fortress, like right next to, as close as I could get it to, a big goblin empire. So I want to see these sieges. I'll post footage as I get it, but I haven't experienced this yet, and it seems really crazy. Like, I'm imagining, you know, a sieger is just digging straight through, and who knows, like, do they respect wet stone and magma stone do not dig orders? They probably do, but say if you have a huge magma tank, a huge water tank that's just one block thick, and they just happen to pierce that as they're coming into your fortress, as they're digging around the defenses that they figured out, you know, they shouldn't go through. Maybe a siege is going to end up in your fortress completely ruined. Maybe you beat the siege, but your fortress is now flooded or completely on fire and submerged in magma. All right, now the other insane thing is that siegers can also build construction. So that's like ramps, ladders. So even if you put your fortress, you know, the only entrance is on this little impossible spire that nobody can actually climb to, they're going to build to it, or they're going to dig straight through the base of it. So that is really incredible. I am seriously baiting sieges because now I want to see how all this works. I caught a interview between Blind and Tarn Adams, I believe it was, one of the creators of Dwarf Fortress, and they were talking about some of the other new stuff, which was like these bolt throwers, which apparently they go too fast. I got to build one. I'll do a tutorial on how to build a bolt thrower as soon as I figure out how to build them and test them myself. But they are apparently like little like machine guns as a siege defense right now. They might get slowed down, but in that interview they were talking about how it was actually pretty realistic to how fast the game runs. You know, like a season is over in, you know, like 20 minutes. So maybe it makes sense as like a medieval bolt thrower because it looks like a machine gun to you, but maybe it is appropriate. I don't know. I think that's fun. It's just more crazy dwarven stuff. That's not the craziest thing that dwarves would have ever built. Check the description for this video, or you know, I might pin a comment for these release notes. But I think a lot of players probably haven't had a big, good siege. They might not even be aware. This is all crazy stuff. I'm reading the notes here. It says invaders can bring battering rams to bash through constructions and buildings, so they can break your construction as well. I mean, that kind of goes without saying if they're digging through the stone, but they can also just like bash down your doors and stuff. In my last video, I was talking about how demons can break down doors again in the latest Steam version. But apparently, something in this interview, maybe I should link that too. I'll make a note to myself. But so this interview about the Siege update that you can find on Blind's channel here on YouTube. They were saying that demons are going to start having digging abilities too. So every video I made about how to capture demons and move demons around safely, that's gonna not be true anymore, which is fun. That honestly makes more sense. I'm not even sure if there is gonna be like an adaptable survival strategy for demons anymore, because if they can only be hurt by steel and they're immensely powerful, they're huge, you know, they're very resistant to damage, and they kill everything that they see almost immediately. And now that they can literally go wherever they want, they can just tunnel straight to wherever they want if you're trying to block them off. I'm not even sure what that kind of like meta strategy is going to look like. But I'm excited to see. I'm excited to figure it out, bring you the news as soon as I see it. Actually, you know what would be cool? Is if the demons, they can tunnel through anything except there's like a really expensive, complicated to make new material that you can build like an entire floor or, you know, containment room out of, so like you can still interact with the demons without them just having free running roughshod over the whole fortress. But like it really takes some preparation and advanced planning. Yeah, the other nice thing, and this is something that they covered in the interview quite a bit, boulders thrown by catapults explode on impact, ejecting sharp rock shards now. So that's like nicer too. You don't have to be like a surgeon or a sniper with the boulder catapult anymore. You can just like hammer rocks that'll burst apart, which is more useful and fun. invaders can free their cage companions. That's also interesting. So if you're doing like cage traps, which that was always a classic of mine, was just like one narrow entryway in, and it's just lined with cage traps. But now, if goblins are pouring in and it's all cage traps, the guy behind the guy who's trapped might be able to just get him out. So yeah, I gotta get this all in the lab. I gotta bait a goblin invasion. Leave in the comments if you know any way to bait goblin invasions harder than I am. I'm a new fortress generating lots of money right on the outskirts of like their biggest empire. So I think I'm doing it right. But I want to get in here. I want to try some of this stuff. So definitely let me know if you have any advice for how to make sieges happen. That might be a DF hack command, actually. I'm gonna look into that right after this. The only other interesting thing that just came to mind from watching this interview, the magic update is coming, apparently. So they're going to add more types of magic. They're working on that now. And there is a point that I hadn't realized, but it's so obvious now, and it's weird. In the Dwarf Fortress universe, it seems like the only kind of actual functional magic is necromancy. There's just necromancy, so it's a pretty, I guess, appropriately grimdark world. But so yeah, people are tentative, people are kind of nervous, but also excited for the magic update, because everything this dev team does turns out pretty fun at the end of the day. So people are nervous about, having all kinds of casters and things. And I think, they mentioned in the interview that like the idea is that if it causes too much chaos, you can like build magic items that like mute certain kinds of magic. So you can make your fortress old school by just building a few like magic oppression devices. So that's cool. I think that is going to give us a lot of opportunities for creativity, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm way late to the game. Apparently this happened like 3 months ago, and I just haven't had a siege since then, but very exciting. Really glad to catch up on it, and I will check in with everybody on the next one.